I wanted to record a short video about the very large homeopathic immunisation or homeoprophylaxis interventions that have happened around the world. I'm recording this on the 28th of March 2017, just to give you a date reference. And the reason I'm doing it is because a number of skeptics have come out and said that there's no large-scale evidence supporting the effectiveness of homeopathic immunisation, and therefore what I'm talking about is nothing, is a confection, is made up. So I'm going to bombard you with a few figures, because what I've done, I've taken out some data and looked at it in a way that I haven't previously. This is data and journal articles, published material that I've been holding on my files. I've never assembled it in this way. And what I've done, I've looked at 27 different research projects, or interventions would be a better way, because these really are not, most of the time homeopathic immunisation is used, it's not research, it's practical interventions to save people's lives, which it does. So I've looked at 27 interventions in 3 different countries, Brazil, Cuba and India, and I've looked at the data, the number of people who received remedies per year per disease. So if someone, for example, in Brazil received remedies for 2 different diseases at different times, that would count twice. Or if someone, say in India, where they've conducted a number of programs annually for 3 years, that would count as 3 doses. So it would be 1 intervention per year. So when we look at the number of interventions by person, by disease, by year, we come to a grand total of 91,961,110. Now that's a massive number of people who are using homeopathic immunisation, and most of these programs were conducted by government or public health officers and officials. They were mostly conducted by doctors who worked for the governments in the different places, or by scientists working for the governments in disease prevention. So just to give you a very quick snapshot, I'm just going to run through by country, by year, and what disease was covered and the number of people involved. First of all, let's look at Cuba. 2007 against leptospirosis, over 2.2 million people. Also in 2007, hepatitis A, over 1 million people. Again in 2008 against leptospirosis, 2.2 million people. 2009 against dengue fever, 20,000 people. 2010 against swine flu, 9.8 million people. 2010 against pneumococcal disease, 9.8 million people. 2014 against cholera, 5,000, and 2014 against dengue fever, over 500,000 people. In India, against Japanese encephalitis, over 3 periods, annual periods, 89, 91 and 1993, in 322,812 people in each of those 3 years. In 1996 in India, dengue fever, 39,200. And then the world's largest intervention that I'm aware of, against Japanese encephalitis again in the old Andhra Pradesh province, this time in over 20 million children aged 15 years and under in 99, 2000 and 2001. The cohort was slightly different in each year because some children dropped off and some children entered because of age. In 2006 against chikungunya, 1,624 people. 2007, the REACH program in Kerala state against epidemic fever, 1,855,374 people. 2012 against dengue fever again, 2.5 million people. And finally in Brazil, 1974, 18,640 people, 98 against meningococcal meningitis type B, 65,826 people. In 2001, dengue fever, 1,959. 2007, dengue fever, over 20,000 people. 2008, against dengue, 156,000. And then another program against dengue fever, which ran over 4 years. 2007 was 216,000. 2008, 203,878 people. 2009, 211,059 people, and 2010, 178,677 people. So you can see unambiguously that not only is homeoprophylaxis or homeopathic immunisation being used around the world by governments, administered by doctors and medical scientists, but it's also being used in literally tens of millions of people. Now, the figures I have are for only 27 interventions. There are many more than that. I'm actually going to India in just over a week at the invitation of an Indian government council. I'm speaking at a big conference and a couple of other seminars, but most importantly, I'm going there to have a look at the data from a big dengue fever immunisation program, homeopathic immunisation, that they conducted in 2016 in Kerala state and also in Delhi. Now, last year around this time, I was also invited to India, and that was to discuss with the doctors who were rolling out this program some of the details, and I'm very fortunate to have been invited back. So what I can do is assure you that if you're told that homeopathic immunisation is a figment of someone's imagination, that it doesn't exist, that it's a scam, well, I hope this very, very brief insight into that quantity of data will give you a very clear understanding that those assertions by skeptics are simply untrue. It's a shame that the government in this country is not aware of this information, and I'll certainly be doing my very best to write up all that material with the new information that I get when I come back from India and publish it sometime before the end of this year. All the very best. Bye-bye.